Hello twin flames, welcome to my channel and welcome to your daily energy check. Today we're doing a special edition reading as just hours from now we will be experiencing a partial solar eclipse in Aries. For the Eastern Standard Time where I'm located, it's going to be happening around 6 a.m. On March 29th, and of course depending on where you are in the world you may check the times. It's a partial eclipse and it's also not going to be seen, well, it's not going to be seen everywhere. It's also like there are like very specific parts in the world where it's going to be seen. So even if you can see it, it doesn't mean that it's not going to impact you. It is very impactful. It's one of the major astrological events of the year. That's why we're talking about it. I posted some info and inspiration in the newsletter that I sent out this week. Of course, I already posted a reading with zodiac messages for each sign for this solar eclipse. You can find it on my other channel, Mindful Bamboo. There is a handle in the description box below. Today, I want to do a reading, a solar eclipse related reading dedicated specifically to twin flame journey. So we'll see, as this eclipse is also a new moon event, which solar eclipses always happen during new moon time. We will see what is this new beginning that is being given to us, this gift from the universe that we're getting, that we can, embrace something new, something exciting. The second one is going to be what's the outcome on the other side, like what is this transformation of this eclipse season, what is it going to give us? And then the third question is going to be messages in love, specifically for the feminines and the masculines, for this journey, for this connection. What do we need to know? How is this eclipse making a difference in our dynamic? Okay, so we'll start with an oracle message, and today I've got Beyond the Lemuria deck, Beyond Lemuria. So one of them is, what was I saying? This is one of my more intricate and esoteric decks. I don't use it very often. It kind of became a special occasion deck, so yes, today we have a special occasion, and let's see what we have for the feminines and the masculines watching. And before I forget, there will be a new edition of Mindfully Awake. Today we'll be talking about we'll be talking about the whole concept of being nice and how it may not serving you the way, well, not the way that you want, but it probably is serving you the way that you want. And it makes your life easier on a certain level, but it's not as great as it's deemed to be, as it's advertised or as you were told as a child. And we'll see how it actually prevents you from following your dreams and from accomplishing what you want. So there will be a link probably under this video or as a post in the community, and of course I will also link it in one of my upcoming readings as a link in the comments, because there will be a recorded version. You can also just search for it on any podcast platform where you listen to podcasts. And of course, I appreciate all your likes and subscriptions. If you enjoy what I'm doing, please support me with a like or with a comment or both, so I can continue providing these readings for free. Feminines, you've got number 33, beautiful, journey to wholeness. This is your theme for this eclipse. You are becoming more whole. This is about loving yourself and others from a sense of wholeness, exactly as you are right now. It is only from this space that healing can take place. We may find ourselves in relationships or scenarios where we can see great potential. We may have concepts of others that are not really who they are, due to subconscious projections or ideals. We could have the idea that we will feel better about ourselves when we achieve a goal or status, that success will somehow make everything better. Unfortunately, this takes us out of the present and makes our love somewhat conditional. To be a healer, transcend the perspective that the being in front of you needs to be fixed. Hold the vision that they are perfect as they are. From this place, they can heal themselves through the transformative power of acceptance. Acknowledge the full spectrum of a picture and bring any fractured parts back to the present moment. In this place, we are whole, and thus have the power to step into the brightest version of ourselves. So it's important to see yourself as a whole and see Like maybe it's work in progress, right? But you're becoming more and more yourself and more whole with every step, every phase, I don't know, every year, whatever that scale is for you, right? But it's important to at least acknowledge how much progress you've made and see yourself that way and see other people that way. For masculines, we have the throat chakra. That's interesting. This eclipse is actually a lot about voice and reclaiming your voice. So, and I know like it's Aries energy, so much more than that, but I'm specifically like, even for my own situation in my life, I've been getting this kind of hints and signs and pushes, you know, working with throat chakra. I even recorded an episode about reclaiming your voice earlier in March, because that's what I was guided to look at, you know, and I usually do the podcast episodes about something that's relevant in my reality, not necessarily for myself personally, but a lot of times it coincides, you know, what I'm looking at, what I'm discovering, insights, and then I can share it with you guys. So express your truth. There's also a sigil for this in this deck. You can take a screenshot of that. And what you do in this deck, they give you a ritual with this. First of all, the color of throat chakra is blue. I actually have this blue agate here that is supporting my throat chakra. I used to have it at my desk, but these days it's more relevant to have it this table. It's not my desk. But anyway, so the color of the throat chakra is blue. It's like the butterfly and like the lighter colors in this picture. So you can imagine the energy of that color showering over you, and you just kind of like draw the sigil that I just showed you in the air with your finger 3 times. Of course, if you have a strong affirmation, or at least like you can say, I'm reclaiming my voice matters, all this kind of things, do that, you know, that's the ritual basically. But yeah, Aries, partly because it's solar eclipse in Aries, that's one of the vibes that Aries has in order to, like, because like the whole concept of Aries is, you know, me, myself, and I, right? It's the Emperor card. But not everybody owns that, right? It takes certain courage, it takes certain frame, right? It takes certain level of self-love as well, because some people pretend like they're there, but pretty quickly you can see and sense that it's not the case. So this is about like really owning your voice and understanding and believing that you have something important to say. Okay, for the main read, I'm going to be using the Dreamkeeper's Tarot. It's also not something that I use very often, but today I was in the mood for this deck, so we're going to go with it. Bottom of the deck, 9 of Wands. So, yeah, sometimes we feel, I'm gonna get the clarifiers too, but especially with this figure of like somebody almost like, what's it called? Sleepwalking, right? Like when somebody's walking around and they're sleeping, like this looks like a nightgown to me, right? And the person isn't even sure where they're going, what are they doing, right? Because it's on a very deep subconscious level. A lot of times we may feel like that, like I'm somehow trying to understand what's happening, but deep down I have no idea. I hope that I understand, or I'm telling others that I understand, but deep down I have a fear that I don't, or I don't know what this means, like the events that are happening, the people that are in my past and interactions that I have with them. Like, I'm not exactly sure what is the universe trying to tell me, which is fine, by the way, Queen of Cups. As long as you tap into your heart space, you know, and you connect to that present moment and you create the channel. As twin flames, as light workers, we're all empaths, right? So it's important to exercise it with yourself more than anyone else. It's actually going to be a lot easier to exercise it with everybody else if you do that for yourself more often. But it may take some practice, right? Because there's still our monkey brain that keeps overriding what we're feeling, what is coming up for us energetically. So it's about having that level of trust where you don't need a filter. You just trust what's coming up. Wow, 9 of Swords now. So feminine, your energy, well, so this is what new opportunity is coming up for us with this eclipse. What are we being gifted by the universe, by the divine, whatever your higher power is? So we have 9 of Swords and 4 of Wands. So this is the idea that, so the gift is the vision of what, you know, the happy past looks like. We're using the term happy past usually in the software delivery world, where it's like the happy past scenario, you know, like the digital user journey, where like everything goes according to plan. The user finds what they want and they're able, let's say, to buy that product, right? That could be a happy past, like no glitches, nothing, just like it just happens, right? So this is like, what does that happy past look like, right? We're not, even though we've been through a lot of trauma and we've been, I don't know, let down in different ways, heartbroken, etc., etc., it's important to have that vision in very practical terms, and where that the one that your brain can accept, and start being so anxious about it. The vision of how things may work out, even though they still may seem, you know, you may be like a little critic inside of you may be saying, I'm not really sure that this is like believable, you know, that this is feasible. But that's like the nuances, right? We're not talking about somebody teleporting to you from another place and suddenly appearing in your kitchen. We're talking about, you go, I don't know, for example, you travel to this place and then suddenly you meet someone who's going to change your life. Or, you know, you go to this place and then your twin somehow shows up at the same place, which obviously neither of you told each other about it, right? But you meet there, and because of the situation and circumstances, you both come close and you drop the barriers, and it just works and the union happens. You know, like it's something that can happen in 3D. Maybe like you may be saying, but the probability is quite low, like all this stuff, like that needs to be dropped. That's part of the anxiety thinking, right? But seeing the vision of what that may look like, maybe even like specific storytelling of like, ooh, I'm going to this thing, or, you know, like I need to go to like that store and find like, and I think my twin might be there, right? Because they're interested in this stuff, and we can meet and we'll see where it takes us. And then you're already imagining where it could take you. For the masculine, we have the Emperor and the High Priest. I was just talking about the Emperor energy, and yeah, and you know, we already spoke about throat chakra and reclaiming your voice. So masculine, it's very important to do it, but also remember that I just spoke about, I just don't want to repeat myself, so you can rewind if you want to. I spoke about being authentic. Some people pretend, they create an image, they put on a mask where they appear as the Emperor, you know, with authority, with power, controlling other people, right? It could look different ways of like, yes, I'm in charge, and to me, in my world, it means I'm successful. People listen to me, they do what I want, so it means I made it in this world. But a lot of times it's that facade that people put on. It's really important to tap into your power, like again, go into the heart space and like feel through it. Not just tell yourself this is something that people will like me for, or, you know, they will show their reverence to me if I speak about this. No, it's like, what do you believe in? What feels right to talk about? What is that message that you want to deliver, but come from a place of intuition and heart, rather than just logically what's going to get me a good result. The second question was, what's on the other side after this eclipse? And eclipse season, basically. For the feminines, we have the moon and the star. Very astronomical. Very much about cosmos. And you know what? We have North Node in Pisces right now, and it's going to stay there for another 15 months or so. So it's not surprising to me personally. And the moon is the Pisces energy, yes. The star is Aquarius energy, actually. But both of them are connected to embracing feelings and emotions and to healing them, to loving yourself in that space, you know, to looking at your, like if we use the internal family systems terminology, looking at your parts and recognizing, okay, this is where I have the hurt. This is where I'm still angry. This is where I never understood what happened and I'm still confused and lost, right? And you can then work with that energy. Not all necessarily in one day, you know, but you're not pushing that away either, right? This is like this huge acceptance. And I love that these are both major arcanas, because it means that the divine is bringing that sense of understanding and peace to you. That not only is this normal, but this is somehow, it hasn't reached your experience in this lifetime. And this is something that you can use in the future to, to help other people, to talk about how you overcame this, what happened so you could heal. What's on the other side for the masculines? We see 8 of Swords clarified by 9 of Wands. So now the 9 of Wands, we also just spoke about it with this card here. Yes, for the masculines, there is like this new space, new territory is scary. There's a lot there where it's like there's an imposter syndrome. And it's like, oh my God, why did I even open my mouth, right? Like in the context of owning your voice. Why did I even start talking about it? Like my life was like looked pretty good before I went here. And again, your brain will be telling you those programs, those stories, to get you to go back to the old thing that was understandable, predictable, and comfortable on certain levels, right? This is uncomfortable. So you'll get uncomfortable, masculines, but that's the way to kind of snap out of the energy where you're keeping yourself small, where you are in this incubator or like a capsule that's protecting you from the outside world, because you are always calculating what you're going to do and why, and like predicting what are you going to do as a follow-up based on that result. What messages for love we have for divine feminines? Queen of Swords and judgment. Who is doing the judgment in your life, feminines? Are you judging yourself too hard? Are you judging your divine masculine, or both of you, or this connection in general? Right, there's a big topic of judgment in both of these cards actually. And the message in love for you is stop judging how you and your twin have come to this place, mistakes that both of you have made before, and at least acknowledge and be honest that both of you did. It's not just them or just you, it's both. We are all learning. We are all, flawed human beings that make mistakes. That's part of our nature in this life. Right? And the more you work through that energy of judgment, and yes, you can work with specific examples, because usually if we're talking about specific person or people, it is specific. It's not just general, like, do I judge this person? Why do I judge this person? It's like, yeah, because they are wearing something that I don't understand, or because that person was rude to me for no reason, or because this person made this big decision on a whim and they haven't even considered all the different factors the way I would. Right? Like, first of all, we usually trigger it and we judge a behavior or, the looks or the situations that make us uncomfortable, that, somehow we feel insecure with. And then through that mirror, you can understand how to judge yourself less and how to judge people less, because those are very connected. You need to stop judging yourself first. Giving yourself labels, telling yourself like I'm just not good in relationships. How many people I hear that from clients all the time, that people have already diagnosed themselves like I'm just not good with relationships. So of course it's no wonder that this looks like BS, like this dynamic was my masculine, right? And then there's like this diagnosis is there, and as long as you believe that story, that's what you're going to be seeing in your reality. For masculines, we see the twos, 2 of Cups, 2 of Swords, and I love this 2 of Cups, by the way. Look at that. It's like the masculine is a tree and the feminine is like around him and nurturing him and all that stuff. Very beautiful, very poetic. But there's also 2 of Swords here. So masculines need to know that, yeah, it's like, it's never gonna be idealistic, like fluffy reality with no concerns, no choices, no tough places. No, again, we live in real life where if anything we do face, like challenges are being given to us so we can grow with them. So we can, it's like a, a training, what do I want to say? Like fitness equipment, right? It's given to us so we can use it to our benefit and we can grow. We can ascend, we can be more aware, and we can show up with more love. So whatever this relationship is, don't expect it to be idealistic with no glitch at all at any point in time. It's a journey, and that's something that you do together, and it's part of the beauty that both you and your feminine get to discover this life, as well as what that unconditional love looks like, what does the day-to-day relationship in that, you know, twin flame union looks like. And of course it's going to get better, and it's going to be easier to, you know, self-regulate in different situations, and you'll be working through your triggers and healing, right? But it's a process, and it's important to respect that and to be ready for it. You know, just because it's this special someone who you believe you're fated to be with, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be ideal and there won't be any issues. So if you're seeing that there are issues, you're like, no, I'm going to run away from this. When my person is with me and we're both ready, it's going to be spotless. It's just going to work. It's going to be, we're going to walk into the sunset and live happily ever after. But I mean, you can also believe that story, but the reality is that it's still not going to be, it's not going to mean, and you may call it that way, but it's not going to mean that there are no arguments, or there are no conflicts, or there are no upsets. There will be some, right? And if you're ready for that journey, it's also not for the faint-hearted, especially in the, you know, I don't want to say first stage, because union is definitely not the first stage, but like even in the early stages of union, right? There's still some adopting to the new reality, to what this looks like. Also, the whole idea of feeling that unity with another human being, feeling like you are finishing each other's sentences, or that you want to create something beautiful to share with the world as light workers, but together. Like, all of this is overwhelming on its own, and it's a big deal, and it's a big change to what your life used to be, most likely. So yeah, take it easy, masculines, and definitely understand that there's always going to be something to deal with, and the best you can do is deal with it one day at a time. You will only be presented with what you're ready to face and to deal with and to heal. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I hope you make the most of this eclipse energy. It's been intense for 2 weeks and also for the last couple of months. So I don't know about you, but I'm personally kind of waiting for that alleviation of the intensity in April so we can take a breather. But it's also been showing me a lot. So hopefully it's been helpful for you too, and you've gotten the clarity that you wanted. In the meantime, I love you all, and until next time.